Hey guys, so I ordered some cable clamps. I've been wanting to get cable clamps for a while, and I've been doing some research, and Motion Pro's come up. I'm not the first person to use them. Obviously, they've been around for a bit, but what I liked about them is they've got different sizes. In particular, I'm after the 1.5 inch because obviously I'm running the 1.5s on the actual Springer. Steady custom cycles 1.5s. They look like Carlinis, but they're not. Great quality. And if you need anything from Steady Custom Cycles, I think the one of the resellers here in Australia is Charles Toner from Custom Craft, the owner of Custom Craft. So reach out to him if you need bars like this or crash bars or anything, or tailpipes. They've got all kinds of tailpipes as well, Steady Customs. They've got the ones that up sweep and batik and shark fin. Anyway, the video today is going to be about these. I ordered a dual cable clamp holder in chrome. So that bottom part here actually plugs into the bottom there. So they're sort of all clamps onto each other. And then this obviously swivels. So if your cables have a bit of pressure on them, there's a bit of relief there. So that's the double one, and then I've got the single one as well. So yeah, I'll unpack them and continue the video, and I'll show you what they look like on the bike. So I've unpacked them, guys. Obviously we have the double there, and as you can see, this is what they actually are like. So they sort of just swivel onto each other. Obviously over here we've got a sort of an Allen key, and then you'll separate it. Obviously it's pivoted here again, and then you'll open that up, insert this into that, and Bob's your uncle, I guess. Different fittings for the accelerator cables as well to tighten them up. Obviously probably use the biggest setting on the Harley Davidson, probably this one I reckon. And then we've got the clutch cable or brake line cable, so also run the bigger one, and same style as well, opens up like that. So yeah, I'll install them on the bike, and we'll get rid of that cable ties in chrome and get the cables on the inside all looking nice and neat, what the bike actually deserves. Be back soon. Something to note too, guys, with the design, that it actually comes apart from here. So there's a rod in there. I'll just pull it out. I'm doing the filming and the So it actually comes apart, and then you get like a rod that fits into it. So it's actually an amazing design. I love it. Easy to use, obviously with two hands. But yeah, see, look, even with one hand, done. You know what I mean? And the Allen key, the Allen bolt is actually really good quality with a washer. I mean, you can run these if you really want, just to stop the rubbers from turning. That's what the 3M's for, but I don't need it. There's no pressure on what I'm using, so I don't need to put any of this sticky tape stuff on there, but it's an option, and it's 3M, so we know it's the best out there. But yeah, I just thought I'd add that in, that even a little bit, even this small bit here, actually comes off from the back as well. It's running a sort of a pin insert style as well, so that's pretty good to know. We'll continue on. There we have it, guys. I probably should have done it before and after, but you can imagine where the cables were. Probably got one more to go for the brake. That'll allow me to sort of bring the brake more over to here. So I'll grab one for the brake as well, because unfortunately they don't make these in 3s, and you make them in singles or doubles. So that's the finished product there. Very clean, flush, not too tight on the handlebars, easy to actually clamp on and actually close the gap up before you actually put the bolt. There's only probably a mil of gap, and then the bolt actually closes the gap, that mil gap, and holds it in place. I use the rubbers for the accelerator cables because it holds them in place nicely, and I also used it for the clutch. The clutch was a bit of a mucking around because of the way it's routed on the soft tail. It's sort of routed the front and then it sort of drops to the back of the bars, and then it comes down, and obviously there's this plastic bit here for the paint, All right, so people remove this off their clutch cable. Big no-no. This is what saves your paint. Believe it or not, this piece of plastic is really smooth piece of plastic. Replace it if it's not smooth on your bike. If it's rough and it's got pits in it and sharp bits, actually you can remove it and replace it with something as smooth or similar. And obviously just tape it up from the top to close it up. All right, and it still allows me to adjust my clutch, which I had to now. After putting a little bit of pressure on the cable, I realised that there isn't as much play up here anymore. So I loosened the clutch just a little bit more. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'll be able to tell soon. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And obviously I made sure that the clutch cable is not hitting the back of the fender, because if, say, when you go to buy a bike, if you look at the back of the fender, over here, you'll find a lot of marks. My one had a few. I buffed them out. But yeah, over time, it scuffs the paint here, and it's sometimes hard to really take off unless you cut back and buff. So be careful with the clutch cable. This is the right clutch cable for the application, and it's fed through the right way with the right holders from the factory. But still, when you're going to put some tension on and hold it in place, you need to make sure that you can actually turn your steering right and left. And that's what I was mucking around with. That's what took me about half an hour extra. So when you're sitting on the bike, you want to be able to turn your steering right and left without that clutch cable having too much pressure on it. Okay, so that's the finished product there. So I obviously see there's a bit of sort of, you don't want something fixed here on bars that are actually bent. You want something that has some play so that your clutch cable doesn't have too much pressure on it. All right. So I'm going to be removing this phone holder soon. I don't like it. I think it's an eyesore. It'll be nice once all that's off. And I'll get one for the brake cable. Put it on the other side, and then it'll almost look like these cables are tucked into the bars. That's what it looks like from the front. So part numbers, for those that are interested, the dual part number is 11-0042. That's for the accelerator cables or whatever else you want to use it for. And the single is 11-0041. And that's for the 1 1/4 to 1 1/2. Look for them, Motion Pro cable clamps. You'll find them online. And thank you for watching the video. Have a lovely day.